What's going on, everybody? Truffles here. Welcome back to the Bourbon Ranch. Today we got something pretty special, something I am super stoked for. It is the next chapter in Maker's Mark wood finishing series. This is chapter 2. This is the first release, the Heart release. So with chapter 2, looks like they got a nice little facelift. I like that they brought back the cellar-aged bottle. I think the bottle itself looks really cool. Gave it a facelift. I guess kind of differentiate it from the old one. They kind of just took it in a different direction. With these, they have 5 different volumes of this again. I really don't know what's going to be different about it. It just seems to be the same. Kentucky Straight Bourbon, whiskey barrel, finished with 10 virgin oak staves. Volume 1 of 5, 10 virgin toasted French oak staves. So maybe the stave profile will be different, but that seems to be, I don't know. I really don't know what to expect about this because it just doesn't seem like it's gonna be much different, but I don't know. That's why we're gonna smell and taste it. I'm gonna tell you what I think of it. I really don't know. This is gonna be a fresh crack, fresh pour, just live reaction of what I think of this stuff. Hey, I love Maker's Mark, so I'm sure it's gonna be good. Whoa, yeah. Also, real cork. For instance, look at this. Yeah, they did real cork. Old, this is the FAE02 synthetic real. Totally different. I mean, everything about it. I mean, I don't know how much that means to you, but I have broke, like, the glue on this synthetic cork has been breaking on several of my older Maker's bottles, so maybe that's why. I mean, the cork itself seems like the topper in itself seems different. The more you know. So hey, yeah, they're upgrading. You know, I honestly don't even remember if the cellar aged was a real cork or not, but yeah, it's interesting. All right, let me start nosing it. Let me go ahead and read this, because I think I'm jumping the gun. I just want to smell and taste it. But let's just see what they say about it, and then it's just gonna add to the confusion of, well, really, what the heck is this? For this second chapter of our limited release wood finishing series, we pursue unique taste visions inspired by the teams who craft our handmade bourbon in Loretto, Kentucky. The makers of our makers, if you will. In this 2024 release, known as the Heart release, we have crafted a one-of-a-kind expression that celebrates our team that distills our whiskey. This team is the center, the heart, if you will, of our whiskey making process. This stage in the process serves to guide all other stages, ensuring our taste vision is realized. Fruit forward with caramel, maple, and chocolate notes, this expression features a rich, creamy mouthfeel that is a pure delight. Hope you enjoy this one as much as we've enjoyed making it. So, it seems like they've just taking their same stuff and... All right, let's smell it, let's taste it. I'm gonna tell you what I think about it, so. Oh yeah, very chocolatey. Definitely chocolatey, spicy, which is kind of crazy too. A lot of, wheaters are softer. Maker's Mark is a wheated bourbon. If you didn't know that, the more you know. Wheaters are typically pretty soft, but there's a nice, cinnamon, chocolate cinnamon spice going. Also, getting some oak. Like, normally you don't get that in a lot of makers. This one's definitely not as sweet. The other ones almost are like smelling just melted candy. This one's a little more oaky, kind of graham cracker thing coming through. Like, maybe, I don't want to say this, but I'm gonna say it because I think so. This is like a cellar-aged light. Okay, the cellar-aged, 11 and 12-year-old makers, it did not taste like any other makers. Okay, it was like its own thing. And this is, I don't know, smelling like maybe an 8-year-old makers or something. Okay, not too far away from normal makers, which is usually 6. This is kind of, 8. A little bit of red fruit, sweet cherry notes coming through. Overall, like, very pleasant nose. Like, honestly, I was kind of, what is this gonna taste like? How much difference it's gonna be? So far, it's kind of different. Like, it's definitely not like the other wood finishing series. All right, let's taste it and we'll see for sure. Yeah, first things first. This does not taste like any of the other makers that I have. This is definitely its own unique thing. So, yes, they're using 10 virgin oak, or what are they using? Virgin toasted French oak stave. So they're using French oak on this, kind of like Maker's 46. In some of the other wood finishing series, some of them used American oak, some of them used French oak. This one's using French oak. Does not, I couldn't really compare it to any of those other releases from Chapter 1, shall we say. People are gonna have questions. How is it compared to FAE, BRT, insert all the other acronyms? How is it gonna compare? I don't think this does. This is its own thing. So they got that going for them. Nice chocolatey creaminess. That cinnamon thing's coming through. I think that's gotta be coming from the French oak. It's definitely not like super French oak heavy, where, if you try the Maker's 46, or the Maker's 46 cast strength, especially the newer one, when they updated the label on it, I feel like the French oak on that was pretty prominent, pretty like in your face. This is kind of in the background. It's definitely there. So again, it's not like a Maker's 46 either. I guess it's more so like the spiciness from the French oak than the actual flavor of the French oak, because I'm getting a lot of that caramel chocolate, and then the spice, probably coming from the French oak, is very heavy, very creamy. I feel like Maker's Mark is just great at having a creamy mouthfeel. Like, all of their stuff is super mouth coating, super viscous. That's there. It doesn't drink. It drinks soft like a Wheater, but that spiciness from the French oak and the proof, it's just, this is a pleasant experience. Kind of impressed. Like, I was really on the fence. Like, what are they gonna do? Like, how's it gonna be different? I guess really what they're doing is just getting away from all of the confusing BRTs, FAEs, SE4, all of those, and just kind of, instead of giving it a code, and people are just, what is it, FE4? What is that? They're just giving it a normal name. So the Heart release, 1 of 5, like a little easier to follow. Does that tell you what it's gonna taste like? No, but neither did BRT. Like, you don't know what is that? So I feel like this is a little easier to follow. Maybe that's why they did this. But that being said, this is truly different. It is a little more oaky of a release. It's a little bit, I don't know, they really did make something different with this one. Going back to it, that maple note that they talked about, definitely prevalent. Like, it's starting to come out of the glass a lot more. And then on the palate, it's like a chocolatey maple dessert. It's like, it's not over the top maple, but it's definitely there. I don't know, man. I'm liking this. It's, is it my favorite Makers? Probably not, but I mean, it's a new release from them and it is different. So, like, heck yeah, I dig that. Another thing too I was thinking about is the Maker's private selects, right? It's really hard to like, you can't look at that and be able to, well, it has 30 of this and 5 of that. It's just kind of confusing, and you never know what you're gonna get until you try it. But even those, I feel like those tasted more like the original wood finishing series. It was kind of hard to differentiate, or you'd get a wood finishing series and it's like, well, dude, I got a private select that tastes like that or better than that. This, I think they did a little bit better with this, like making it stand out from those. That doesn't mean, I'm not saying, oh, you're gonna love this. I'm just saying it's different and I can tell. I'm trying to think of what I can compare this to, because I know people are gonna ask, well, what do you think about it compared to RC6, compared to FAE 01? And you know, there's just too many to go through to side by side all those. I would say, I feel like the first wood finishing series lineup, a lot of them were a lot more desserty, ice creamy, milkshakey, just thick, syrupy, chocolatey and vanilla. Like, that's the difference between the FAE 1 and 2. One was vanilla, one was chocolate. I feel like maybe this is more in line with like the BRT and, you know, kind of in line with the cellar aged, as in, I feel like you're getting a little more oak on this. You're getting a little more like the barrel influences. The super sweet cavity inducing normal makers is kind of subdued. It's, you know, there is chocolate notes and stuff there, but it's not in your face. I think with this release, they're trying to step out of their box. Is it still makers? Absolutely. But you know, makers, you tried one, you try this one, you see a very strong resemblance. You know, some like this better, some like that better, but they're all kind of in the maker's box, right? They're very like, this is what we do and this is how we do it and we're not doing anything else. I think this is trying to take a step out of the box, you know, 1 foot out of the box. This is not far away from their flavor profile, but it is a step into, I think, people who are just makers haters, I think would be more inclined to like this release. So there we have it. I really like this stuff. This is some pretty good stuff. I think if you are a makers lover, like me, then yes, this isn't a pass. Really like it. I love the bottle. I love the facelift. This bottle's just so cool looking. They really knocked that out of the park. I'm glad they brought it back from the cellar aged. Just love that bottle. You know, I kind of like this whole, you know, getting away from the letterings and BRs and all that stuff and kind of giving them names a little easier to follow. I will say if you weren't a Makers fan or you're not the biggest fan, I would say if you wanted to try one, this would be one to try. I think it's a little more in the, you know, enough away from the Makers profile that you might dislike for you to like it, okay? I think this is a step in a new direction for them, and you know, it's still familiar enough to Makers fans, but I think you should give it a try if you can. Try it at a bar, or just like me, you need it. You need the bottle. Come on, complete your collection. Is it the best Makers I've ever had? Time will tell. Maybe we'll do a blind of every Makers I have, and then I'll die. But I think this is a solid release from them, so it's promising. Yeah, I'm looking forward to see how the other 4 releases in this chapter, what happens with them. How are they going to be different? So stay tuned to the Bourbon Wrench. We're going to cover all of them if and when we get them. Leave a like, go down to the comment, leave a comment, say something about this. Helps the channel out. Check out the Patreon. Support the channel more. And until next time, I'm Trevor Wilson, and I will see you guys in the next video.